Thank you very much to Sohei for coming up with a circuit. I have modified it quite substantially. In fact, I've built 3 circuits and incorporated all 3 of them into this project. I will go through what I've done and hopefully explain what the circuit does. First of all, we have 6 small solar cells, all recovered from solar garden lights. I mounted them on the top of the lid, and that generates sufficient energy to do what I need to do. Obviously, I'm going through a Schottky diode, then through a fuse to make sure that we don't get any power back from the batteries if something goes wrong on the solar panel. And I've got 2 lithium-ion 3.7 volt batteries in parallel. You will notice that there is a couple of tabs coming off on either side of the battery. Those will become apparent a bit later on. I also installed a voltmeter that will give us an indication of what the battery voltage is when we engage the switch. The basic circuit is thus: the solar panel power goes and actually starts running a modified Joule Thief. Now, this version is very similar to Sohail's. Here is a 200 microhenry inductor and 1 nanofarad capacitor and 470 ohm resistor. Basically, this is 2 inductors that is wound on a ferrite core. Now, how this works is, if you think of a conventional charging method, you would connect the positive of the battery to the positive of the source, in this case the solar panel, and the negative of the battery to the negative of the source, in this case the solar panel. We are actually doing that. The negative of the batteries go through the inductor all the way down through the transistor and back to the solar panel. So that's a conventional charge. We are also generating high spikes of energy with the collapsing inductors as per a Joule Thief. We are capturing those off of the collector of Q1, feeding it back through a Schottky diode all the way back to the positive. The voltage cannot get to the solar panel because of this Schottky diode D1. In essence, that is how the circuit works. Now, A and AA, B and BB all form part of the circuit, and we'll go through that in the next section. Okay, now we're on to the second part of the circuit. This is the part of the circuit that is the LED drivers. Now, if you can recall from the top or the previous circuit, there was an A and a B. The A was connected to the positive of the battery, and the B was connected to the negative of the battery. You notice that I've just moved over this B and that B. Those 2 are actually connected to eliminate confusion of the wires crossing each other. Now, how this circuit works is you don't want the LEDs to be on constantly, so you need some form of circuit that is going to be light sensitive. Here we're using a LDR, a light dependent resistor, to drive the circuit. In essence, the LEDs or the circuit will be completed through Q3 only when it is dark outside. You can follow the circuit, you can adjust it with the RV1 500K so that you can get your switching just right for your conditions. We're driving 5 white LEDs and the same circuit applies. You have got your ferrite inductor, you've got a 2 microhenry on the one side on L4, and you've got a 2 millihenry on L5. And we have got a switch mechanism here. If you have a look at switch 2, the middle position, if the switch is in the middle position, in the off position, because it's an on, off, on functionality. If it's in the middle position, it's only going through the 68K resistor, therefore it will be the middle intensity or the medium intensity. Switched over to position 3, it's going to give you the least intensity, and switched over to position 1, it's going to be without these resistors in line, therefore driving the transistor even more. Okay, now we're on the third part of the overall circuit. Again, we've got a dual thief over here with different values again. If you can recall, on the first section we saw AA and BB. Now BB is on this drawing, and if I scroll up a wee bit, you'll be able to see the AA portion. AA goes through a double pole single throw switch to EE. EE comes in over here through a diode and drives the circuit. At the same time, it also switches CC on through to a jack, which is on the outside of the container, and you can connect a battery, an external battery, as long as it is about 2.5 volts. You want to have enough voltage to run the circuit and charge the battery. I'm going to leave this up. You can read through that at your leisure. In essence, CC and DD are over here, and they complete the battery in circuit to make this circuit run. Without a battery connected, this circuit will not run because there is nothing driving your inductor array, your dual thief array.